You are about to witness bodily dismemberment, sub-zero temperatures, and all-out mayhem. Brought to you by the Frontline Network.
Sup, COH fans, and welcome to episode 3 of Frontline Fatalities Season 3, brought to you by the Frontline Network, presented by me, FatalSaint, and my good friend Tommy. What's up, Tommy?
What's up, Fatal? We are back here on the fields of Company of Heroes 2. We're going to be looking at a game here on Kolodny Firma summer, not winter, summer. A little different to the winter version. We saw it featured quite prominently in our TFM World Championship tournament, which we had almost a month ago exactly from the date that we are recording this, which is the 29th of July. That was a great tournament. Just thinking about it, it was exciting stuff there. But we saw a lot of great games on here today. Back in the tournament. And who do we have playing today?
Today we will have one of the Brazilian Company of Heroes players called Itaperuna, and he will be taking on the Soviets, and he will be going up against who?
He will be going up against Mr. --.
Yes, also known as Champism on the forums, I believe.
Yes, so we'll call him Champism for the purposes of this. And I believe he posted the game because it was a good game, and again, this is Itaperuna guy. He is the Brazilian champion, is that right?
Yeah, I believe so. The Brazilians had their own little Company of Heroes 2 tournament, and I believe he was the winner of that tournament, or at least he played in it. So he is a Brazilian Company of Heroes player, and there's a couple of those guys. And Champism, I'm not exactly sure where he's from, but obviously this was probably, hopefully, most likely we'll see soon, a good battle on Kolodny Firma Summer. So we're at the 5-second mark. Ready to go, Tommy?
I'm ready.
I'm pausing 3, 2, 1, unpause. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And just a reminder, this is actually recorded on the 29th of July. So when this will be released, it will be in August, and there will be a new patch out. So if you see stuff like, for example, Hit the Dirt, etc., that has been affected by that patch, this is obviously, you know, prior to that patch hitting. So this is the old iteration of those said abilities and units, etc., that has been changed. So don't be afraid, the patch has gone live when this cast actually goes live, so it will be different when you're actually playing while watching this replay, so to speak.
Yes, so there will be new stuff out, and of course, something else new that we can talk about now, which you will know by this point when you're watching it, is the new map that they have coming. I don't know whether it's going to be released in the July 30th patch, or whether they're going to wait for a further release to actually put it out. But today, July 29th, as we're recording this, we saw Relic Entertainment actually put out their very own stream to show off Langreskaya, which, for the uninitiated, is basically a Company of Heroes 2 version of the classic Vico map, Longra.
Yeah, exactly. That looked really, really cool. There's obviously both iterations of this, both a summer version and a winter version, and they played on both. And it's also a mix between a 1 versus 1 and a 2v2. But in auto match, they have said that it will only be featured as a 1 versus 1. But you can still play it with your buddies in a custom game as a 2v2 map as well. So you still have the possibilities, but it's not going to be for 2v2s in auto match. So you're still going to have maps like Oka River and Moscow, for example, in 2v2s, but not longer. But at least if you're playing 1 versus 1 auto matches, you will have longer then. And both as a summer and a winter version. We have a conscript opening. He's going quite heavily on the south, actually. He just capped the fuel with his engineers on the top, and he sent both of his starting conscripts down south. And now there's a grenadier squad and a pyro squad, most likely going to easily force this combat engineer away. But he's had both fuels. The one on the right hand side is yet to be connected. He's going to connect it by taking that munitions point in the south. But, you know, he's gotten some income from that, actually.
Up here in the north, we've got some soft retreating combat engineers here from the Soviet player, but he is finally forced to actually hit that retreat button, but not before he loses yet another man on that squad. Bled quite a bit of manpower there, but he did manage to delay the cap for a little while. Now his conscript squad moving out to tango with this Pioneer squad here. Gonna just get in there to prevent that decap.
So close! It's basically 1 pixel away, and he still gets to utilize some green cover because there's plenty of green cover on this cutoff point here, actually. And now that Pio is actually standing on the capping circular rings, so the cap is going to be reverted. And at the same time, we have a conscript squad popping into one of the buildings on the far right-hand side, while the secondary conscript squad is coming in here to stop the cap on the fuel. But this time, he's not successful.
Not quite there. Could have used an Ura there to get there just in time, but decided obviously it wasn't quite worth it there. Both squads now in green cover, point-blank range, but there is another conscript squad shooting from behind, as well as an MG42 now setting up in the back.
Here comes the conscript. Are they in the arc of fire of the MG? It barely gets the burst off before they actually going to be able to crawl out of that firing arc. But they are still suppressed, and the MG is flipped on that side, while the 2-man Grenadier squad is trying to combat these 4 conscripts remaining. They get unsuppressed, however, get their damage back from being suppressed. And the second conscript squad gets pinned on a negative cover row. They're still in yellow cover.
Molotov goes in.
That was
Molotov
quick.
goes in on a Garen squad there. Yep, very quick Molotovs from our Soviet player here today.
Three conscript Molotov, and he's also taken up by building his tier 2 building. So no M3s, no tier 1, no snipers. So we're most likely going to be seeing, you know, Maxims and AT guns and a mortar maybe.
Yeah, so he's going down the sort of a more combined arms approach, not going to try and grief the old M3, something that we saw quite a bit of in the tournament, it has to be said.
Quite a lot of M3s, especially in the finals.
Yeah, in the finals it was all about the M3s. I don't think we saw a game which didn't have M3s.
At least the one. You know, Armstrong played 3 out of 5 games as Soviets, and he always had that M3 guard combination rolling around and killing that Flammenwerfer and Scout cars from the German player Sefa in the finals of the TFN World Championship. Grenadier squads up north forced away by a 3-man, now 2-man conscious squad that instantly gets critted, loses that 3rd guy and retreats away. Combat Engineer squad is back onto the field, catching an MG on the move. Let's see if he pays attention enough. He does. He's gonna try and pursue this, but that MG can quite safely get into this building, I think.
Yeah, and as soon as he gets to that building, he's going to be pretty safe. The combat engineers realize this, and they back away. MP42 actually just stops himself from getting in there because he knew that wasn't going to do him any good. But now he doesn't know what to do with himself because he knows that he could be surprised by another combat engineer at any time.
It could be units coming in anywhere from any side, any flank. We do have mines coming out in the center, but there's an LMG-equipped Grenadier squad from Champism, and he's going to start opening up, and the mine does go down before he is forced to retreat that combat engineer squad. He loses 1 man on the retreat. At the same time, at that munitions point down in the south, there is an DP light machine gun equipped guard squad fighting off a Grenadier squad. Nice rifle nade, very nice dodge, however.
Yeah, he saw that one coming from a mile away. He was well out of the damage distance there when by the time it arrived. This guard squad now going to keep on capping this munitions point, get a little bit more munitions coming back into the Soviet players' hands. Always useful when you want to start cracking off those Molotovs.
Yeah, that rifle nade sure did a number on that truck, however. There's no more green cover to be had down there. Nice Molotov attempt there, but the Grenadier started moving away, so he canceled it. Yeah, Molotov fake. Is that a thing? Oh, that was not a fake though, and it's burning those Grens to a crisp.
Actually worked pretty damn well. That Grenadier squad getting very low health, but
oh, catches on fire.
One of those guys just spontaneously combusted.
Yeah, he just got into that AoE damage from the Molotov, and I actually talked to Peter about this in the first episode of Season 3 Frontline Fatalities, and I think all flamer weapons basically have a 15% chance of that spontaneous crit to kill 1 man, so to speak. So if all 4 Grenadiers are sitting in the fire, it's 15% per Grenadier. So, you know, all of a sudden, all 4 guys can just, like, explode.
That's nasty.
Yeah, I think Molotovs are quite, I don't know. People probably find them too slow.
There's a very long
animation,
wind-up, isn't there?
Yeah,
so
the animation is very long, so people find them quite weak, I guess. But, you know, if you throw 3 of them at the same time at 3 different points of the map, it's very hard dodging all 3 of them.
Yeah, and if you do get those nice crits rolling in, then it can really, it can do a lot of damage there.
Yeah, it can pay off. We did have the cutoff taken away from the German player, so the southern parts of the map is cut off, and he's reclaimed the fuel down to the south, the Soviet player. He hasn't been able to actually extend up to the north. That MG is just guarding basically that whole entrance there, up to the fuel.
Infantry shooting at us.
So 4 conscript and a guard, I believe, first, and he's followed it up with a Maxim from his tier 2 building. But he has seen that half-track, hasn't he? So he might be saving up for an AP gun. And here's Hit the Dirt used now. Something I mentioned in the beginning of this cast is that this is a game prior to the July 30th patch. So Hit the Dirt is in its old iteration.
We have Flamers coming up very shortly on this half-track here. They're going to be roasting and toasting some guards, no doubt. Oh, nice guard grenade. Takes out one grenadier and does a lot of health damage to the others.
And he manages to nick the building. He loses one grenadier on the approach to garrison that building, however. He's down to 3 men, so I believe there might be 2 PTRS rifles and only 1 DP light machine gun. And now with this flammover from the field as well, they're going to be forced to retreat. They can retaliate against light vehicles with their PTRS rifles, but when you're down to only 3 men out of 6, you know, it's a huge gamble.
It is indeed. This Flamer now, he's going to make himself known, chasing down these guards. There's no sign of any kind of vehicle tech in the Soviet player's base, so this half-track is going to be relatively unopposed for the next few minutes.
Yeah, he does have the guards and an AT gun cooking in his tier 2 building, but apart from that, this Flammenwerfer is going to be completely uncountered. Obviously, he also has the possibility of upgrading to 18 Ace, but he has yet to actually upgrade that. And he can't actually...
Oh, nice mine! Nice mine!
Wow.
Lovely mine!
I
It
saw
was an
that
18
planted.
mine.
I saw that planted, and I was just like, yeah, he planted it in front of the green cover tractor there, obviously, you know. The enemy unit's gonna go there and take cover at that. But yeah, that was a good target for that mine. That was basically the best thing that could ever happen for the Soviet player.
Yeah,
120
that's gonna
munitions.
set back the German player quite significantly.
Maxim is flanked. I'm not exactly sure if the German player has enough munitions for a bundle, because they're quite clumped up. I'm guessing he sunk most of his munitions into that Flammenwerfer, did he?
He did indeed, yeah. He's now sitting on 45 munitions.
So close and yet so far away. The Maxim actually turns, but here comes the 18
There it is.
now.
Ooh.
But they actually spread out due to the Maxim turning, so that could have worked out better, I guess.
Conscript squad in its entirety did go down, and he loses the Maxim as well. Big losses there for our Soviet player.
He's gonna be fighting that MG up in the north. It actually packed up and tried to run away and then went back again. We have some PPSH upgraded conscripts as well, gonna fight off these Pios quite easily. And they're just gonna stop the decap of the munition point, forcing the Pios away. At the same time, we do have this AT gun in the center now, but after that half-track hitting that mine, he's quite useless right now. He can use his artillery barrage as stationary targets, like, you know, the LMG grants, because they gotta be stationary to use their LMG, and obviously MG42s as well. But this, you know, there's no vehicles or tanks to shoot at right now for this AT gun.
Well, an AT gun is never too horrible to have. You never know when you might need it in a sticky situation. And of course, you know, they're just that much more versatile now in Coming Imperial soon, and they do have that light artillery barrage.
Yeah, it's really good against stationary targets and you know, blobs of infantry.
Oh, nice grenade! Close range, but P-Grens do tend to edge it out versus guards, and I think, yeah, I believe the Soviet player knows this, and he does retreat.
Yeah, the grenade killed one of the Panzer Grenadiers and did very little health damage. I think they're barely below 45% health or so. So they most likely would have been able to beat out that guard, as he was down to 4 men. So, you know, after losing one more man, he would have lost one of the DP light machine guns most likely. That's less anti-infantry DPS. And you know, after that, the P-Grens would have just mopped up the remaining 2 or 3 guys. Yeah,
it's pretty tough dealing with those P-Grens. We've got another Maxim now, a fresh one into the center.
Nice Maxim flank, nice flip as well, and the Grenadiers might be able to get around it. Oh, he doesn't get suppressed.
Doesn't quite get it.
And the
He's
P-Grens gets
trying.
unsuppressed.
He's gonna flip it again actually, but there's a nice bundle nade. Oh, no,
this might hurt the
there's a
Grens.
grenadier. Oh, that could
was
have been
risky.
better. But yeah, that was risky. I thought he was gonna lose a whole grenadier there. They were standing right on top of it.
Yeah, almost. We were just thrown right in front of those grenadiers. That was very, very close. Ura used to get into the building. That's very interesting. He just really wanted that building before the P-Grens got into it. They could have vaulted over the stone wall and gotten into the building, I guess. There's that mine in the center. He
mine.
knew it was there, but obviously it's been quite a while. We're already 13 minutes into the game, and he completely forgot about that mine being there.
A lot of artillery barrages used on the MG42. One shell knocks out 3 crew members. That was a money shot if I ever saw one.
That was a very effective artillery barrage, light artillery barrage from that AT gun. It's 60 munitions, light artillery barrage, and it fires, I believe, 6 shells, and it can do quite a lot of damage to infantry. Full retreat almost from the German player from the center and the south. He is recapping the northern fuel. What's his army composition looking like right now? He's got quite a lot of infantry, P-Grens, for example.
He does have 3 P-Grens, no
3?
less. 2 regular grenadiers, 1 MG42, and 1 Pioneer. And he's teched. Well, he's teched to tier 3. Hasn't yet built the building yet, though.
Okay, but he still has his Pio. He didn't go down.
He still has his Pioneer. Yeah, I believe it is his original Pioneer.
That's not that easy, actually, especially not against you know, grenades from the guards and the PPSHs on the conscripts, but because they really shoot through the Pioneers quite rapidly. Actually, you can just look at another part on the map. Oh yeah, and the Soviet players lost 1 Maxim at least, and 1
at least 1
squad.
conscript. Yeah.
I think he's lost those 2 squads as well. So compared to that, I guess the German player is doing really good at this time.
And the map control reflects that. I mean, if you look at it, it's an awful lot of German control here.
Yeah, switched hands again. The south was cut off, but the P-Grens squad forces off 1 of the conscript squad that nabbed that cut off, and he's going to be able to reclaim that and connect the fuel down in the south, because he has lost the fuel up in the north, and that is now guarded by an enemy machine gun. Instead of the MG42 guarding it, there's now a Maxim from the Soviet player. Here's a nice rifle nade on Hit the Dirt conscripts, but it did very little damage. Yeah, I think it hit in front of them or something. Especially with the, you know, the cover there as well.
Yeah, the green cover probably helped keep him safe.
Yeah, with the current patch, when you're watching this, there was a patch on July 30th where they changed Hit the Dirt, and now it basically gives light cover. So it doesn't stack anymore, because before it was a received accuracy modifier, I think.
Yeah, so if you had
0.5.
green cover plus Hit the Dirt, it did basically make you invulnerable for all intents and purposes.
Almost, at least. You know, the only thing you could really use was splash weapons like tank shells, grenades, for example. Rifle nades worked as well.
Yeah, double bundles tended to deal with it quite effectively,
Double
but then,
bundles.
you know, you're paying an awful lot.
Yeah, double bundles sure did seem to work in some of the
Double bundles do
tournament
deal
games
with pretty much anything. So,
doesn't matter if it's Hit the Dirt or not. It disintegrates everything that's sitting right close to it. Stolen Maxim now turned against the Soviet player here. These guards, they're gonna get suppressed, and these P-Grens now easily gonna be able to mop up these guards. They're retreating at 6 men at 50% health. He might be losing some of them on retreat, but the Panzer Grenadiers, yeah, 2 guys went down, but he could have lost more than that, I think. But yeah, there's
down here in the center
defensive
we got
Maxim.
4 mine laying from combat engineers right in the middle of this main road. Don't know if the German player saw that.
Well, he killed some of the combat engineers and they were forced to retreat after planting the mine, but I'm not exactly sure if he was paying attention, because at the same time there's an engagement in the north here with quite a lot of infantry and an MG42 against a conscript squad trying to hold out in one of the buildings, but they couldn't last there that long, especially not against 3 squads. If it was a 1 versus 1 situation, the conscripts in the building would be safe. But when there's actually like an MG42 and an LMG equipped grenadier as well, that's a bit too much. This is also another change here. You can see these 2 Maxims, the stolen one and the Soviet one, firing at each other here, pitting each other. That relic stream that they had up just a few moments ago while recording this actually showed off how that works now. So if the MG gets pinned, it basically no longer does any damage. So it's more of a matter of basically who gets the pin first. So if you have your MG set up and your enemy runs into it, he's most likely going to lose that battle because he's going to get pinned first. Grenadier went down in the center. LMG equipped, I believe veterans as well.
Anything that reduces the MGs flanking MGs mechanic is a good thing in my book.
Yeah, mine too, mine too. Or especially the one that, you know, before you could just take one Maxim and roll up into an MG42. The MG42 would pin you, your Maxim would not care, and kill your MG.
Yeah, that
was not cool.
Problematic.
Yeah, and as Peter said from Relic, he said, you know, they never intended for MGs to counter MGs. That was not the design decision, you know. That was
it just sounds wrong, you know. It just feels wrong.
How would an MG counter an MG? MG's like globe control. So first vehicle, is it tier 3 from the German player, or?
It is indeed. It's tier 3 and it's a Panzer 4 coming out.
Yeah, we do have an AT gun on the field and one guard squad, and he has still not teched the 18As. He's got the healing at the HQ, and he has the Molotovs, obviously, because that was quite a quick tech after 3 conscripts. But yeah, one AT gun could quite easily get flanked. Obviously, if you support it with your guard squad, you can easily button the P4 and relocate your AT gun and do some heavy damage to those P4s. But still dicey.
Oh, nice Molotov in the building here. Flushes this MG out at long last.
Passengers forced off in the south, and Apaya was flanking that MG, but at the time of the flank he was down to 3 men, reduced health as well. So the support gunner on that 6-man, now 5-man Maxim squad managed to force off the flanking Pios. They had no flamethrower or any additional DPS tools. Here
comes Panzer 4, seeing some full squad retreats here from the Soviet player. Maybe this is more of a surprise than we thought.
Might be. We do have an Su-85 cooking in the Soviet base, actually. It's almost completed, but it's gonna have a very limited time of... a very limited window of opportunity now. Nice flank on the MG, the stolen Maxim here. He tried to flip it against the combat engineers doing the flank, but he actually got flanked by an additional squad, a conscript squad with PPSHs. So that prompted a retreat from that stolen Maxim.
A sector has been cut off.
P4 now rolling back into the center to come and deal with some of these hit conscripts.
But considering he doesn't know yet, but he hasn't seen a single 18-8, obviously, as the Soviet player has not teched them yet. He still has to fare it. You can't actually tell if infantry squads do have 18-8s until they actually
it's too late.
one. Yeah. It's basically the same in VCO. You never knew if that rifle squad had grenades or not until your guys exploded.
Yeah, that was generally a good way to measure whether they had grenades, is how many giblets were created.
Yes. How many limbs of my men are littering the battlefield right now? Quite a lot of them, so I guess these rifles had grenades after all. It's gonna be bundle nades. That was a nice one. Oh. 3 guys down to that bundle. He's at negative cover with a flanking P4 coming into the center as well. He does retreat, and the Maxim sees the P4, instantly prompts a retreat as well. He's gonna get off the battlefield and go back to the base to reinforce. We do have the SU on the field now. He's gonna most likely try and relocate and get at that P4, but it's handled quite well. Very nice micro with the reversing ability, and we actually have some indirect fire now from the Soviet player in the form of a Katusha. You don't see them that often in 1 versus 1s.
No, you don't, especially not when you're playing from, you know, in an even game. I mean, you see them occasionally when the game's already won.
Yeah.
But certainly, you know, they're very much an acquired taste, and they do require a very specific sort of playstyle to be used effectively.
There's a Katusha barrage now on the 2 MGs. One is a stolen Maxim and one is an MG42. Oh, almost kills the stolen Maxim, which has also actually gotten veterancy after being stolen. He killed 3 or 4 guards with that Maxim, I believe, as well. So that's quite a lot of kills and quite a lot of damage done. And that's how veterancy works in Company of Heroes 2 now. It's not just, you know, straight out kills anymore. Now it's all about the damage and damage received. Mainly damage now, as they changed that in the open beta from 50-50 to 75-25.
75-25, yeah.
Nice bundle on the AT gun. He's gonna try and relocate, but he does lose 1 man on the explosion, and another 2 guys gets killed by the STG-44 equipped Panzer Grenadier squad.
Enemy
Well, that's that AT gun gone. Maybe the P4 can have a bit more of a reign of terror now.
It's actually just hanging out in the base. I'm surprised. Color me in wow. P-Grand squad goes down in the center.
Oh, that's a shame.
So that's a second squad down for the German player now, I think.
And a Pioneer squad went down just a few seconds ago.
Oh, Pyre went down as well. Yeah, now it's starting to snowball against this German player, Champism, here against this Brazilian Company of Heroes player, Itaperuna. He's starting to lay in the hurt now, after a fairly dicey early game, losing a, a conscript and a maxim quite rapidly.
P-Grands are forced to retreat here, but they are pretty low on health and down to just one man. Luckily, the Maxim is facing the other way, otherwise we might have seen another end to another German squad.
P4 finds one of the Maxims up north here. He's found some nice target here to go at. There's nothing in support either, so he's easily going to be able to polish off his AT gun, but he might be fearing that SU, so he limited his attack time there to stay away from a potential SU-85 follow-up.
And who can blame him? SU-85s are very potent against Phantom 4s.
Extreme hard counter to medium armor. You gotta get around that SU though. If it's unsupported, P4 can easily take out the SU-85 as well. Problem is a supported SU-85 with, Soviet combined arms, especially with button. You're not gonna get around nothing when you're buttoned.
No, you're not. You're not going anywhere when you're buttoned.
So in other news, obviously Tommy's back, and we've been playing a little bit on our Twitch channel. We played yesterday, GG level 5, Tommy.
Oh, GG level 5, Fatal.
GG level 5.
For those of you who weren't watching, we were, because I haven't been playing an awful lot of auto match. I was only level 5 when we started playing, and obviously now everyone's sort of level 70, 80, 90, 100 and whatever. So people who don't know who we are tend to assume that we're, or at least I am, some uninitiated player, some scrub. Yeah, exactly. But we gave a few guys a good licking, which is very satisfying.
I think we won every single game. That was quite
yeah,
good,
we didn't have any losses.
Yeah, I don't think
I would have been brooding about it if we had lost.
We actually had a back tick from the Soviet player to tier 3. I find this. Color me intrigued. What is happening? Is he gonna go for, a supporting T-34 for the ramming ability, or is he gonna get, a T-70 to harass the infantry-heavy German army? I don't know about
well,
this
there are a
back tick.
lot of P-Grants, so maybe he's after. Yeah, he could be after a T-70 or a T-34 just to go around and push him around. Oh, an M5. Now there's a unit that you don't see too often. It's like an M3 on crack.
It is like an M3 on crack, a little bit at least. It's quite durable compared to the M3. It can take,
I mean,
couple
if
of
you call the
shots.
M3 the clown car, then the M5's got to be the clown limousine, the clown Hummer limousine with armored plating. It's quite something to behold.
Yeah, I wonder if he's gonna put like his guards in this M5, or is he gonna go for the quad upgrade. He doesn't have enough munitions right now, but he is in possession of both the southern munitions and the northern munitions, so his munitions income is quite heavy actually, at 48 per minute. Funnel nade did literally nothing, because it was thrown in the middle of the squad. You can see they were so spaced out. They're like the two guys at every spot, and the bubble nade was thrown in the middle of all the 6 guys. I'm not exactly sure why they were laying in couples there. 2, 2, and 2. It's like going on a school trip and you have your safety buddy or something. Not exactly sure what happened there, but that constant squad was weird. Nice use of the Katyusha. Maybe we should build more of those guys in our 2v2s.
Oh, a mine goes off, killing a P-Grand on retreat. German player is now down to just 2 P-Grands now. He's lost a lot of those suckers.
Yeah, and with those losses, he's obviously also lost the veterancy. That always hurts.
Yeah, he does have a few Vet 2 units. He does have a few Vet 2 units still, but he could have had a lot more.
Yeah, he is losing now on the map control as well, especially the northern part.
The beast has been called on. The elephant is now on the field.
Well, people say that the Su-85's range is, you know, it's too big, it's too hard, can't get at it.
The elephant will certainly do something about that.
260 fuel later, counter has arrived. I love that picture. That was so good. The fan art.
Ah, yes. Who is it that did that? I can't remember his name. They were brilliant, though. I've never seen such funny fan art for Company of Heroes. It was brilliant.
Super brilliant. Best ones I've seen so far, I gotta say. But we do still have an AT gun, which is gonna counter the elephant somewhat, but obviously it's gonna need support.
Oh no, Vet3!
Nice.
Vet3 Maxim goes down.
Nice flank. Very nice flank. Oh, elephant opens up on the SU. I think, did it miss?
I believe it did miss. That's
You
unfortunate.
useless hunkering beast. Why did you miss? Why can't it shoot? It's seriously shot up there. Oh, it shoots at the AT gun instead of the Su-85. That was surprising. Well, now he's actually at least gonna be able to see it. This elephant is apparently charging this Su-85 right now.
Maybe he's trying to ram the Su-85.
Not exactly sure.
Really,
It's gonna
really
crush
slowly
the
try
hedge
to ram it.
and demolish
Wow.
this SU.
Look at
50%
that
in one
damage.
shot. Nice bundle on AT gun, almost gets decrewed. It was a quad he went for on the M5, but here comes the P4 now supported by the elephant. Takes out the SU, the P-Grens took out the AT gun crew and this M5, and Katusha now
Wow.
is in a world of hurt.
Suddenly the tables have turned. Where is the infantry support? There's just none here. We've seen so many Soviet losses just in the last 20 seconds.
Yeah, the Axis player. Wow!
Wow.
Wow! Look at that elephant range.
It was around the corner as well.
Yeah, it was a curveball shot. Very, very usual strategy in World War II, making your elephant shots curve around buildings. All crack, all veteran German tank squads knew that trick. It's like you reverse your tank at the same time as you fire and you get that little, I don't know, what was that stupid movie called? Where they could shoot bullets around corners of buildings.
Oh god, like Wanted or something.
That was dumb.
That was
Seriously.
yeah. That was an abysmal film on a great many levels.
Oh, that was so dumb. Maxim versus Maxim. One in a building, however, and I believe this elephant is opening up on the
Elephant,
building
yeah,
now.
it's got to finish it off. Surely, one big hit from the elephant.
There we go!
There we go.
Maxim
Could have seen that one
down.
coming.
P4 gets Vet 2. He should use Blitz to get out of there because that Su-85 is going to punish him otherwise. Two nice frontal penetration from the P4. It's very damaged, however, and the Soviet player has actually upgraded to 18 Ace now, but this country squad is going to use URA and get away from the tanks to try and go at these P-Grens instead of trying to finishing off that very low health P4. Now trying to take out
Oh wow,
that guard
God,
squad on
he's finished
retreat.
off. Nasty, nasty stuff there. And
is not
wow,
good.
look at the VPs, down to 23 VPs now for the German player. This is getting very, very tight indeed.
Yeah, one thing, he's caused a lot of Soviet casualties, but at the same time, he hasn't been able to capitalize it by, you know, nabbing the territories. He's got his Vet 2 stolen Maxim, moving up north to grab that VP to stop the drain.
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
I see the second Su-85 went down as well. There is an AT gun now to try and combat these elephant, however. That elephant has done some serious damage to the Soviet army. So he stops the drain at 15 left for the German player. How's his army looking right now, Tommy?
It has grown to be a little bit more substantial than it was. He's back up to 3 P-Grens and 2 MGs, one of which is a stolen Maxim. He's got this P4 and the Elephant, so he's not got a small army by any means. He is now building himself another Pioneer. I'm not quite sure why. I
He's
think it
gotta
might just be for
rep
repairs.
The P4, the P4
Yeah.
is almost dead, but it's Vet 2, so it's extremely potent when it gets Vet 2 and Vet 3 as well.
The most pressing concern right now, though, for the German player is to keep hold of these damn VPs, because he is down to just 15 now.
He should actually thank the Soviet player for giving him that Maxim, because that's been doing some proper work. He's got 14 kills, Vet 2. He's not that far
Wow,
away.
that's,
One
not bad.
quarter away of a XP bar from Vet 3. And it's a stolen Maxim.
Could do worse than getting Vet 3 on a stolen Maxim.
We see, is this a new AT gun out from the Soviet player? We have a new M5 as well, and that elephant has actually turned around trying to shoot these conscripts on retreat. Unlucky, otherwise he would have had a free shot at that M5, which is just trying to get away from the center. The elephant takes aim, fires and misses. Pigren swallows another AT gun crew. These Panzer Grenadiers, Vet 3 now, they are the killers of support weapons.
They are ripping the Soviet player a new one, but and yet he maintains superior map control and the VP pressure.
Ura used on a Mint conscript squad, Vet 0 rebuilt by the Soviet player, and this Maxim is trying to relocate, but by using Ura he's gonna have no problem getting at this Maxim and gonna get the VP again. He's got one Pyro squad up there, but they're not gonna be able to combat these hit the dirt conscripts, and that P4 still has a damage engine. He's gonna try and go there, but he's down to 15 VPs. I'm not exactly sure what the Axis player can do right now. He needs the VP down in the south, and a 3-man Pigman squad is running for it right now.
But the quad can feel he's running for it. It's coming to get him.
If he just gets the decap, I guess he can stop it. I don't know. Here comes the P4 now.
Close. He could try and push him out of it, but
He's gonna squish this conscript squad. They just keep laying on the ground up north. He's gonna
whoa, he
try and
just
decap
whites
again.
it. Just whites it down here in the south.
He needs to run away. Here comes the elephant now, crushing some hedges on his way to get at this quad. But there's too many shot blockers here. This quad is easily going to be able to evade that. But this Austrian, however, he might be able to kill off this. He's gonna run into a mine after killing off that combat engineer squad. They committed suicide for the greater good.
For the motherland,
For
I
the
think.
motherland. This quad is extremely annoying.
Yeah, he keeps on finding little spots to be annoying, and the elephant obviously needs nice, big, clear fields and sight lines to be effective.
He's just hiding behind buildings. Oh, he might get it here, however. He's trying to get around the building. The quad has almost finished off this. Here we go. Elephant opens up and kills that quad. One man remains on that MG. Ura used from the conscript to get around, and the MG is actually going to retreat. He doesn't want to lose that MG turn against him. We do have some more conscript now. Vet 3 with Hit the Dirt prior to the July 30 patch. Very powerful. Nice bundle. Most likely gonna kill it. 3 men. Down to 2 men, but I'm not sure if this is gonna be enough.
Vet 3 P-Grans, Vet 3 conscripts.
Yeah, but it's in negative cover.
PBSH.
Negative cover. It's not gonna be enough. Where's that P4 when you need it? Oh, please retreat.
Whoa! You didn't see that coming.
Nope. Shot in the back by a tank shell. Nice elephant hit on that T-34, however. He retaliates a little bit.
Well, the pressure's back on the German player now, down to just 12 VPs here.
Hold this ground for the people!
So with that Pigren squad down, what remains of the German army right now? The Soviet army
Well,
is
he
super
keeps
small.
on rebuilding PGs, so he's still got another 2 PGs and those 2 original MGs, and his now growing tank armada consisting of an Elephant, P4, and Oswind.
Ostwind with a destroyed engine. Has it taken it that long since he hit that mine to get over here to this to this VP? Damage engine is so horribly slow. It's basically like as close to an immobilization you can get without being immobilized. Well, he's not going to go at the VP in the south. That's just not going to happen. But the Maxim in the center is going to reclaim that VP. So it's going to stop the drain. And the Soviet army was 2 Vet 3 conscript squads and that T-34. And that was it. But now he's just adding up conscripts. And I guess that's kind of the right decision. Because, you know, he could get one Su-85. That's not going to be able to tango with an elephant. Especially not with you know, the P4 Vet2 support either. It's just not gonna work. So maybe try and just win by VPs by capping it, because the Soviet player, the Axis player, is down to four VPs.
Yeah, he only needs to hold it for literally a second or two, and it'll bleed him.
But is he gonna
Down here in the
manage?
south is trying to kill this Oswind and prevent the cap here, but it looks like this MG42 team is probably going to be able to get the white.
Yeah, either way, the German player is in possession of the center VP. So he stopped the drains, and the Soviet player needs 2 VPs to continue the drain. Not many ticks, however, at 4 VPs left only. But I don't know. It kind of looked like the Axis player, you know, he had no map control. He was so out of this game. And now I'm not sure, because as long as he keeps guarding 2 VPs, he should be fine.
Theoretically, I suppose, but I don't know. That top VP doesn't really require a whole lot to be dealt with.
I guess not, but he doesn't really have any AT capabilities apart from 18 8s on his conscript and that very damaged T-34, and he's gotta get away from this elephant, which is unsuccessful, and that elephant claims another scalp.
Wow, that thing just bundled right through that mine and just smashed straight in.
He didn't care about that whatsoever.
Soviet territory reclaimed.
Because his squad forces up a Panther Grenadier squad up north, he knows that he can't really deal with this Maxim without having superior numbers. So he's going to get in the building with one of his Vet3 conscript squads. A T-gun might be able to use his artillery barrage against this stolen Maxim. It's going to turn. Yeah, he flipped it on the attacking conscript squad. You can hit the dirt right up front. With PPSHs, his DPS is going to be pretty good, but it is a Vet3 Maxim.
Vet3 Maxim versus Vet3 conscripts. People's coming in for the squish, I think.
Yeah, that's going to be enough to prompt a
Oh,
retreat.
wow.
It's down to
Oh,
one
wow.
man.
Oh, wow.
Just get out of there! Get out!
That was
Vet3.
painful to watch.
Soviet player can actually use the IL-2 strafing run right now. He could have maybe put it in the center somewhere against these MGs here. He's going to use artillery barrage on the Maxim. He's tired of that stolen weaponry right now, but the Maxim was already packing up and he's relocating, and he's going to be able to dodge all of those artillery shells fired at that Maxim.
MG42 going to work on this AT crew and actually does decrew it.
Shoot back, comrades!
He was quite low health as well, so... This elephant is just hanging out with the commander on top, looking down his binoculars. Looking for more scalps to claim. Here's the IL-2 now, in the center. Most of the things actually relocated. He must have seen the red smoke with his MG42 and basically just repositioned it. He should be safe from this IL-2, but you never know what happens.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to do too much damage. Doesn't really look like he knows what he wanted to target there.
Soviet player now attacking these 2 P-Gren squads. One country squad that remains at Vet3. Gonna be able to take out these P-Grens. Night bundle nade kills more P-Grens than conscripts almost though. He's gonna lose that P-Gren on retreat, most likely due to negative cover, but a conscript squad goes down as well.
It's a real bloodbath.
Oh, up north at the VP, another conscript squad goes down, and the Axis player is going to be able to reclaim that VP. So Soviet player still needs 2 VPs, as he's going to be triple capped very soon. But I don't think he fancied his chances with literally 2 units remaining. He had quite a lot of a resource float. He had over 1,000 manpower. He could have built more stuff. He could have kept going. Only 4 VPs remained, but he didn't fancy it, I guess.
I can kind of understand why he might want to quit. Sometimes the frustration can just get to you. But yeah, you can't float that much. Jeez, 1,000. He could have won with 1,000. He had all time in the world.
Fuel. Yeah, 300 fuel and 1,100 manpower. I guess he would have been, you know, have to actually wait for quite a while to get superior numbers again. And if he was just being, you know, grinded down 1 unit at a time, he just fed his whole army piecemeal in the end here, because he was down very low for quite a long time. He had a T-34 and 2 conscript squads at one point, lost the T-34 and just kept building conscripts. They kinda work with hit the dirt, I guess, but at the same time with P4s just running you over and over again, that's never gonna work.
No, it was very, very tough for the Soviet player to get back into it in that late game there. He was facing a very powerful combination. And that elephant showing that it is powerful. It's expensive, but powerful, especially with support. And it was nicely supported in this game. Very nice to see.
Yeah, P4 scouted for him, you know, combined with the ability, the focus sight, you know, that curveball at the M5 killing a T-gun, Katusha, Su-85, and an M5 quad half-track. That was definitely the turning point. That elephant just claimed the whole, you know, armored portion of the Soviet army in one evil swoop of, you know, destruction.
Yeah, that was a brutal attack and very nicely timed as well there from our German player there today. Champism shows he is in fact made of the stuff that is required to beat the champ, the Brazilian champ, Itaperuna.
Itaperuna. Who fought
down
on valiantly though.
He did fight valiantly. He put up a very good fight, and you know, he put in a really solid early game performance as well. It just looked like he got edged out there into the late game. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed that game here on Kolodny Farmer Summer. Do stay tuned. We're going to be probably casting plenty of games on the new map, Langreskaya, or whatever they choose to call it. The new longer map. Going to be a nice little throwback to the days of Vico. Long past now, or it feels like it's been long past. But keep your eyes out for those games. They're going to be coming to the TFN channel shortly. Otherwise, do leave us a comment, let us know your thoughts, and do subscribe if you're not already, and we will see you next time.
See you guys.